Thanks, friends.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
A few announcements. Sadly, Hannah Bingman did not make the trip from State College. The roads were snowy. And as much as I wish she were here so you could hear her lovely songs, I also cannot blame her for not driving through dangerous conditions to get here. But hopefully she can come back another time. So Mirabelle and I are going to do a little bit longer first set. There is a little bathroom here. You're welcome to. There's another bathroom in the basement if this one's busy. If you go down past the laundry room on the left. If you go in the kitchen, there's some snacks on the table in the back, and also any of the beverages in the small black fridge, including the beers on top of the small black fridge. There are a couple actual beers left. You can help yourself to that. And thanks for being here. You know, these are so fun to do. Never know who's going to come out, but
You did.
but here you are. So we appreciate it. So we're going to do a couple songs we wrote together and a couple songs we wrote separately. Now I got to think how this starts. It starts with this chord. This was your chord. This is the first
Now
song
it's
we
our chord.
This is the first song we wrote together in 2022, 2020.
Yeah.
We could look it up. Doesn't matter.
2020.
A stranger emerges from under the surface, squints in the daylight, everything's so dark is all you need. Sunlight left you jaded. Now its memories faded. Was it someone else's dream? Down where the moles live, eyesight has limits. I can see motion. The colors seem distant. If you get used to underneath, and the dark is all you need. Sunlight left you jaded. Now its memories faded. Was it someone else's dream? There were those among us, people who lived in tunnels, who stumbled out into the tide. I was once that stranger, but I could sense the danger. I ran back into the cave. If you get used to underneath, and the dark is all you need. Sunlight left you jaded. Now its memories faded. Was it someone else's dream? Thanks so much. Sarah Levinson, all the way from Greensburg.
Hey, Sarah.
Is the sound okay in the room, and are the interwebs interwebbing?
It's beautiful.
All right. Anybody listening out in the world? 7 people. Well,
Wow.
I mean, we're 7 connections.
Break the internet.
Exactly.
Good number.
Okay. What do you want to do next?
You gonna do a song?
Okay, I'll do a song of mine. I forgot to send you words, so you're gonna have to fake it.
What song is it?
Um,
Oh, that.
I'm gonna do a song called we're up to 9 connections, which could be like 13 people, depending. You know,
It could be 100 people.
it could be 100 people. There are a few actual beers on top of the small fridge, and you can take one of those if you wish. And then there's some non-alcoholic beers in the inside that are chilling. So Mirabelle and I are in this little song prompt group where you get a little phrase every week, and oh yeah, I could.
No, I got.
You've got at least a version. So, and like that last song was actually a song we wrote from a prompt. The prompt, believe it or not, was people who lived in tunnels. The prompt for this one was My Own Feathers. And we did not write it together, but Mirabelle wrote a song separately and texted and said, oh, hey, I wrote a song, and emailed it to the group. And so then I was doom scrolling pre-election YouTube videos. And that was a waste of time I can't get back. But in that moment, I felt like creative person peer pressure. And I'm like, well, Mirabelle, I should write one too. So I did. So I almost should like give you a co-write on this, just because it wouldn't have happened without the...
It's like when you enter the room in a writing session. You get writing credit.
You walk in the room and cough, and you're like, oh. You're...
Part.
So this is my Own Feathers song. My own wings, my own feathers. No one else is gonna fly for me if I can't get my shit together. I will wash my face at least. I got friends, we bear the same weight. We wake up stuck, other days we wake up free. It just depends which day you're asking. But we're not alone, at least. A southbound bird knows where she's headed. Yeah, she don't need a GPS. Your weary heart, once left untethered, will circle back to build a nest. The same old wings, same old feathers. Yeah, no one else is gonna fly with these.
If I don't get my shit together, I will walk you home. At least
Yes.
Mirabelle original?
Yeah, that is my name. You remember it. So good. I love that song, Brad.
you.
that song. So good.
I like it too.
There's an alternate version of this song that you'll never hear, but it's so awesome. It's just a little
Oh, of that.
of that song. It just has one line change to it. If you put like $40 in the jar, Brad will tell you.
I can tell.
No, you gotta pay for it, Brad. There's a
a
cost.
bunch of them heard it at the Starlight, but yeah, I mean, it used to be if I can't get at the first verse, if I can't get my shit together, I will clean it up at least. Now it's I will wash my face at least, probably.
There's a reason why, but he won't tell you because you gotta put a lot of money in it.
If you want to support Andrew's travels and such, please put money in the jar next to Andrew's merch. And I'm gonna get the Glock, I guess.
Yeah, descending Glock action, as you mentioned previously. This is a song I wrote like a month ago, but I just added a verse about the cold, so I'm gonna do it again. But you've never heard it before. Yeah, tune it up. But this one doesn't have a name. It's relatively new. Brad with the Glockenspiel.
I'm ready.
Tune it up real quick.
It's an E flat. Yeah. Mirabelle and I have a lot of nerdy conversations about songwriting, and one of my little measures of what I love in a song is does the melody come back and show up in my brain like the next day for no reason when I didn't ask it to, and the little chorusy part, which you could probably, some of you could sing this. Actually.
Yeah, you should sing the refrain if
You'll catch on to it, but that if you sing it, it will show up in your brain too.
The road that has persuaded your feet to walk upon is quiet and complicated, uncertain and overdrawn. But as long as you're okay, then I'll let you sing along. In the night and early morning, when our troubles aren't so strong. Though I know the darkness surrounds this early eve, it pleads for our attention, lulls us and deceives. Well, I'll wrap my arms around you, and you'll rest within my fold. In the night and early morning, when our troubles don't feel so cold. Lay me down easy, rest your fingers upon my lips. I'll taste your gentle patience, admire your subtle movement. my knowledge, well, I'll tell you everything. In the night and early morning, when our troubles don't quite sting. If you want to hum along here, you can. Will I see you wrinkled as once love of mine? Any way you'll have me, I'll be there if that's all right. A handshake or a whistle with our friends beneath the clouds. In the night and early morning, when our troubles aren't so loud. Yes, in the night and early morning, when our troubles aren't so loud.
Yes.
Thank you. Brad, that was some pretty awesome descending glockenspiel action. If I do say so myself.
Shall we do? Let's do one of the co-writes from this year. Do you want to do In the Background, Shallows of the Stream, or Short Circuit? These are all song prompts that are now songs. So
I'll let you choose.
let's try Shallows of the Stream. These are like songs I think I can remember. They're sort of right on the edge. There's this funny thing of songs living in your brain, and you know they're in there. And if you just start them and trust that they'll show up, you're usually fine, except when you're not. But so.
And I'm very reliant on Brad knowing the songs. You got this, babe.
All right. So yeah, another song prompt. Shallows of the Stream. So how does the bridge is? Which one is the bridge? That's the other one. No, it's
Schizophrenic.
I feel like if you play it, it'll
I should
come
just
to
play.
you.
I should just
think
play it
it'll
and not worry
come
about
to
it.
you.
You're right. Okay.
In the shallows of the stream, where the children hunt for crayfish, at the edges of a dream, catch a tin can memory. Day breaks and I can feel it fading in the light. I try to keep a peace, save for later. You're a shadow on the wall in a house I used to live in. I see you running down the hall when our feet were half asleep. Day breaks and I can feel it fading in the light. I try to keep a peace I might need later. There's a story the bottom of the pond where the catfish hunt their dinner. Such commotion going on that the surface doesn't see. And I could feel it fading in the light. I tried to keep peace safe for later. We were to find we're older than our dreaming can't share. Feeling that the dream's not over.
I think I'm ready to play that one now.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
All right. How does this start?
Which one?
In the background. Do you need words? You want to you probably have a text for me with these words.
I'll find it.
Thanks, Sarah. Maybe I will check tuning quickly. Oh, I should also mention there is one more of these Hospitality House concerts on the schedule. It is March 1st, which I think is a Saturday. And it's with Flamey Grant. Was anyone here who saw Flamey Grant when Flamey and Olivia? Yes, Wes was here. So this time it'll be Flamey with Heather May, but so you should definitely come for that. I'm a little surprised actually that Flamey is playing this living room a second time because I feel like she could fill a bigger space with more people. But anyway, it's happening. So
It's because you're cool, Brad.
thanks. Okay.
There's a sound in the background, you can barely hear it. Speaker buzz, but it's drowned out, covered by the music. When the song breaks down and the band gets quiet, you can make it out. It was always there, now you catch the static at the edge of love. There's a voice from the corner speaking in a whisper. Party noise fills the foreground. It's easier to miss her. When the night winds down and the room goes silent, now it's time to go. She grabs her coat and nods as you're left to wonder if you'll ever know. There's a room behind the clouds. There's a star that won't come out. Everybody's secret doubt is hanging around in the back, in the background. In Berlin, on the S train, back to her apartment. She took my hand, it was all strange. What about your boyfriend? Something close to love, but it felt like lonely. We kept on our clothes. I only held you once, but I could smell you on me. What a fragrant ghost. There's a moon behind the clouds. There's a star that won't come out. Everybody's secret down keeps hanging around in the background. Tell me what you dream about, what you wake up screaming out. From a whisper to a shout, it's all going down in the back, in the back, in the background, in the background, in the background.
Do you want to do the one requested song I texted you the words to? Mm-hmm. That was written in your year of birth?
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me. I think I remember this song too. So then we'll take a little break, and Andrew will play a set. And
Andrew's really great.
yay! And came on a train from Lancaster, and we might get our friend Caston to play a song as a sort of
And he might.
aperitif, or what's the thing you do at the end of the meal? What's the last course? Dessert.
Has anyone heard that?
I was thinking a little. But do you drink the aperitif at the end or at the beginning? Does anyone know when you drink the? It's an after dinner. Okay, so I wasn't
Right.
I wasn't wrong to consider you an aperitif. Yeah. Like a very small little alcoholic beverage that we all.
That's you.
This song was used on a TV show in 2005. I wrote it in 1998, and that one song in that one TV show is the single most best-earning musical thing that I have ever done. And when it happened, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to start having songs on TV shows now. And it happened it never happened to that degree again. I had like a couple little things on a couple little things. But if you binge watch a procedural from the mid-aughts in which two brothers solve crimes every week using math, I might make 48 cents, and we'll order a pizza and celebrate it. So.
Probably.
The chorus is you'll get it.
It's held together with duct tape. It's like there's never enough tape to go around and try to make it count. Slipping through all the close shaves, I'm letting go what I can't say. Down, but I'm not. Yeah, my old car. It's hard to say what'll go first, the body or motor, rusting through and wearing out. But it slips past inspection and on further reflection gets me where I'm bound. So if you're yours, you'll fit right in. I never know where to begin. And if you're blue beneath your skin, it's just a bruise. Yesterday's news, and you will mend. Yeah. My old friends, they're like the cardigan sweaters I've collected in thrift stores. They do me so much good. I'm saving all the various colors. I'm the next Mr. Rogers. I got my own neighborhood, and if you're yours, you'll fit right in. I never know where to begin, and if you're blue beneath your skin, it's just a bruise. Yesterday's news. If you're yours, well, that's no sin. We'll find somewhere to begin, and if you're blue beneath your skin, it's just a bruise. Yesterday's news. It's just a bruise. Yesterday's news. It's just a bruise. Yesterday's news. And you will mend. Yeah.
Up next is
Andrew Paul. So we'll take a little break. If you want to grab a beverage, use the bathroom. There's one more bathroom in the basement if this one's busy. And help yourself to beverages and to some nice snacks. I'm going to have a brownie now. By the way, that was a request by my friend Phoebe, that last song. So, thanks, Phoebe.
it's a cool song.
We'll be right back.
seemed easier to me.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hey, hey, check, check. Test, test, check.
brownies are really good.
Oh,
I just had one.
they're very fudgy.
They're very fudgy.
Yeah,
I might have another later, but
It's too much to have more than one.
I feel like one. Yeah, maybe I'll.
Yeah. If there's any left, yeah.
What's your major at NYU?
Computer science.
Okay.
And I'm doing German and studio art as well as minors.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Is it the kind of thing where, like, just the fact that you went to Germany for a semester, you easily have get a.
I don't really have many classes to take for my major or anything there because they have a much more limited selection. So I was like, might as well just take a bunch of German classes and start a minor.
Ja.
You know?
Ja, bin ein wenig neidisch. Ich habe in letzter Zeit wenig Deutsch gesprochen.
Ja.
Ja.
Ich spreche auch fast nie.
Ja, verständlicherweise. Hast du Freunde bei NYU, mit denen du Deutsch
Eigentlich
sprichst?
nicht so.
Ja.
Ich habe einen getroffen letztes Jahr in Physik.
Okay.
Der kommt aus Österreich.
Okay.
Und, ja, wir wollten Deutsch reden, aber das
Ja,
ist
ja.
irgendwie nie passiert. Es ist immer so.
Ja, aber das verlernst du auch nicht.
Yeah, we used to in touch with them. Not really, though. On Instagram, but like definitely do Instagram.
This is beautiful, as your art so often is. Kaleem, do you know Melissa?
And then
You're both friends of mine for different.
just really wish I could first drew me. It's really hard for me.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah, you have so many different creative outlets. I'm always.
I feel like I just couldn't do that.
What's the night?
It's
kind of fun when it's a whole bunch of different people
No, I
because
feel like
each song has a different shape because different singers are different shapes.
Uh huh.
it makes it just. We're gonna restart.
Cool. That hot sausage dip is really good. I have
We did a little bit once.
sort of turned it into a meal.
Yeah, but I've done that on occasion.
Yeah.
That's it. And then
I left some Susan could make it tonight. She's been battling some medical
Okay.
things this week.
Yeah.
But I took her, it's sort of like her favorite thing in the world, so I took her a container of it.
Oh, good.
And I told her, I didn't realize she was listing off. We made it through dinner and then she was done. And so she said, I'm going to eat the rest of dinner for lunch tomorrow. And I said, what do you do with the sausage dip for breakfast? Because you know, sausage is a breakfast food.
Yeah, that's true.
intimidating, yeah, or anything. It's just like something annoying. It's fine. It's over. At the end of the day, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wish my dad had called this room. I know you're like it's so.
Your wife's at like a very large. Did she? Yeah. I love my wife. Yeah. Very different.
One of these came for this. Oh, it's so weird. I can't.
Okay, I'll bring you once in a while.
It's so stupid. Well, I want to see what I always try not to like right before.
I've been playing food since I was a little kid.
I think it's experience, like it's seasonal. That's true.
So I do with a pianist, a student piano.
No, I feel like it's not much in that one.
Background music, restaurant. But I also put a bass and
I was like, I brought it up.
All right.
yeah, absolutely. It's so much fun.
I thought you were answering. No, there's only one left. I am definitely. Okay.
The first time, it's so exciting. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, on our iPad or something.
Say, let's call it mid-ish 80s, maybe a little early. Just early 90s. Creativity.
Cameo, I never heard Cameo before, but some of it's so funny.
Yeah.
And just
How long have you lived here? Since 93. Oh, you said that.
Seeing what you could do with it.
sure.
He's married at the time he moved from Florida. Yeah, lived in Squirrel Hill for a number of years and moved out to the suburbs. Just making a mistake. Where were the suburbs? Franklin Park.
Instead of being like,
North End.
no, there's no
Yeah.
My daughter hated it. She loved the city much better.
we'll get Andrew going here. And thanks for hanging around. Thanks for bringing tasty food.
Who made the sausage dip? Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you sell your soul for that recipe? Because I would.
I would give it to you for free.
Oh.
Because it's really easy.
Really?
Really nice. It's in an area called Pelican Cove, which was developed by a bunch of anybody can live there, but it's a community where there's a lot of it's sort of like Chautauqua, where there's people who teach classes.
I love Lake Chautauqua.
So where the Chautauqua Institute is. So down in Florida. So in this place called Pelican Cove, it's a community in Sarasota.
Okay.
Just south of Sarasota. And it's
My ex lives in Venice, so she's in that area.
yeah. Smart. Little different vibe, just a touch.
Cicadas singing, the hope I'm clinging to, they both keep me up at night. My bed feels familiar, lying beside her in a house with predictable lights. Now my socks have a home, my shirts don't have to hang alone, my suitcase is packed away. No more uncertainty, the world, it just comes to me in regular, predictable ways. Just last August, I said I needed a rest a while to find a spot where I could dwell. I'd pray and kneel for a magnetic field to keep me grounded for a spell. But now it's summer's end, it feels like I should move again. A blue spark and my poles reversed. Wandering wasn't in my plans of a soft warm bed and softer hands, but these aren't things you can rehearse. Forget arriving, it feels like I'm always striving to be something different all the time. I guess it keeps me growing, but part of life is knowing when it's better to be satisfied. So I'll pour another cup of coffee, whatever drug I need to help me strap into this office chair. But it ain't resignation, it's navigating all life seasons, knowing when to be here and there. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew Pauls, and big thanks to Brad Yoder for hosting tonight. This is such a lovely, cozy spot. I'm happy to be here. Like Brad said, I took the train out here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's a cool town. If you haven't been, I would highly recommend coming out. It's a walkable city of around 60,000 people, and we have an Amtrak station. I took the bus downtown for some meetings, and then I took the bus another 6 minutes to the Amtrak station, hopped on there, and just sort of vegged out till I got to Pittsburgh, which was such a wonderful time. So I used to go to school out in Goshen, Indiana, which is in northern Indiana, and a couple times I took the train. A couple times, most of the time we were driving, but my spouse and I were doing long distance at the time, and we would only see each other on winter break and during summer break. And so there was those miles of highways and miles of railroad tracks between had this sort of were attached to the heartstrings and had this yearning in them. And so I don't know if you've ever taken the train in the Pittsburgh, like the Pittsburgh towards Chicago leg is an overnight train. And even last night when I was on the train, it got dark so early that there are these towns that kind of whiff by as you're riding on the train, and it's such a beautiful sight. The lines are shared with Norfolk Southern, the freight company in between here and Chicago. And so, you try to get some sleep when you can, but you'd sort of be lurched to a stop, and then you'd sort of wake up and look out, and there's just darkness, and you just don't know what's going on, but there's a freight train passing. Then you'd start moving again, and as I was looking out the window, I was seeing these houses drift by with their lights on, this warm glow coming out of them, and thinking about heading home and what it was going to be like to be with the one I loved and the ones I loved, my family and my now spouse. And so yeah, this is what this song's about. It's about trains and highways, but it's also about being together. White lines and the radio, I know more than I want to know. Asphalt turns to railroad tracks. Christmas melts and winter snows. Strange new land, but always the same night. Look to her, I'll always find the light. 'Cause she could be a town, she could be a city, she could be windows at night as the train rolls by. She could be the smoke, she could be glittering in the sun. She's the one who can cool my head and calm me down. She could be a town, she could be a town. Mortgages to have at home, I know more than I thought I'd know. Cars in park, the tickets tossed. Christmas melts and garden grows. Strange new land, but always the same night. Look to her, I'll always find the light. 'Cause she could be a town, she could be a city, she could be windows at night as the train rolls by. She could be the smoke, she could be glittering in the sun. She's the one who can cool my head and calm me down. She could be a town, she could be a town. strange new land, but always the same night. Look to you, I'll always find the light. 'Cause you could be a town, you could be a city, you could be windows at night as the train rolls by. You could be the smoke, you could be glittering in the sun, the one who can cool my head and calm me down. 'Cause you could be a town, you could be a town. Thanks so much. So my spouse Laura and I recently got back from a trip to Spain and a couple different places in Europe. And we had traveled there a couple years back to visit a friend who Laura knew from college, who was living with, this friend was living with her boyfriend at the time in Madrid. And so we visited a couple different places there in Spain in 2019 when we were there the previous time. We were in Madrid, we were in Sevilla, and we were in Valencia. So there's a CD sitting on that table over there, and it's all out in the ether wherever you stream things. I wrote a 4-song EP about each of the cities we visited, and then a song about coming home. So I'm going to play the song about Valencia. And if you take a look at a map of Valencia, if you get out your phone and look on Google Maps, on Google Maps, there's that kind of gray, the gray area, and then there's like green areas. I don't know if you've seen that when you're not in satellite view, when you're sort of in the cartoon mode or whatever. But, you know, parks are in green. So I looked at a map before we went and saw in Valencia that there's this green splotch running the entire length of the city. And I was like, what's going on here? Usually that would be sort of like gray, concrete, infrastructure sort of things. But it turns out that there's a park that runs a decent length of the city of Valencia. And what it is it used to be a river that flowed through that city. But it kept flooding year and year and year and year after year. And so they decided to divert the water from the river. And then they were like, well, we're left with this riverbed. What do we do with this now? And someone's like, oh, I know, we could make it a highway. We could get cars to go through the city real fast. And someone was like, no, I have a better idea. Let's turn that into a park. So there's this park that runs for several miles straight through the city of Valencia, and it's below street level for a lot of the time. Like street level's at sort of the height of the ceiling or even a little bit higher. And it's wide enough that you can fit soccer fields in it. There are running and cycling paths. And I just think it's such a beautiful reuse of that space. So this next song is called Valencia, or I Used to Be a River. We rolled into town, saw the rain last night, it left its mark. Let's start that again. We rolled into town, high-speed train caboose was towing clouds. We slept with hearts so full, and the rain sang as it filled the swimming pool. It said I used to be a river flowing through these city streets. Now I'm wild and free. I'm feeding the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway rolling on and never sleep. I used to be a river. I used to be a river. We walked through park. Saw the rain last night, it left its mark. Memories stick around, and memories fill the puddles on the ground. It said I used to be a river flowing through these city streets. Now I'm bright and green, I'm home to the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway rolling on and never sleep. I used to be a river, I used to be a river. Wake up and I'm thirsty as the sun. I'm sleepy as the late November sky. I watch the water pour into my cup. Thinking to myself, I realize that I used to be a river flowing through some city street, and now I'm just me. I sing to the birds and trees. Thank God I'm not a highway, and maybe soon I'll get some sleep. I used to be a river, I used to be a river. Thank you. Like I said, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where I came from, you really should visit. It's just a short train ride away. 6-hour train ride away. It's a great spot, though. My spouse, Laura, and I live in town, and we can get almost anything we need and get to anywhere we need to get with our bicycles. And that's our main way of getting around. But, you know, we still do have a car that we share between the two of us. And so a couple years back, you know, we had to buy our first car together just before when we were married, and we had both kind of had leanings towards Subarus. You know, they're kind of sporty, outdoorsy, they fit our personality. So we found this 1999 Subaru Forester. It was like a nice muted red color, and it was a stick shift. That was very important to us. You know, we had to have that stick shift. There's something that you're just a little bit more connected to it when you've got that 5-speed transmission. I drive a Prius now, and it's good. I love my Prius. I built a fence in my backyard, and I hauled pretty much all the materials to my house. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but anyway, Prius for the win. But Subaru Forester, this was a great car, and we're like, you know, it's kind of high mileage. It's got like 199,999 miles on it, but you know, they run forever. You know, the commercial where the key runs out before the car, like the key gets worn down and they have to get new keys before the car. Anyway, it's an old commercial. So that, you could probably see where this is going. So the car didn't make it 6 months. The engine wore out, you know, and Laura was on the way to work and called me and said, hey, like, it's making this really bad clunking sound. We gotta do something about this. So we had to say goodbye to the Subaru Forester, and we sold it to someone who said he was going to throw a new engine in it and bring it back to life. I don't know. I've lost track of it. I don't know where it is now. But I had to write a song for that faithful for 6 months little car. This is called Little Red 5-Speed. Not too far from her house, just a couple blocks over there you were. A little red car pushing 200,000 sitting beside the curb. Our pockets heavy with the keys, but a couple dollars lighter, we made you our own. Let out the clutch, pushed down the pedal, away we drove. In that little little red 5-speed came to us in a time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. Load up the tent, load up the cooler to head down south, to hear the seeds of the Civil War coming straight from the horse's mouth. Skies got dark, the wind started blowing, the rain clouds came, but huddled together with the windows fogged up, we didn't mind a little rain. In that little red 5-speed came to us in a time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. Driving 65 down the road is when you gave up the ghost. Oh, the knocking in your engine was the same as if it were on them pearly gates. Now we're standing in the parking lot, our hands in our pockets, staring at the sky, sitting by the curb like the day we first found you, but now we're saying goodbye. We'll never forget the days we drove so far, so free, and we still let out the clutch and push down the pedal in our memories. That little red 5-speed came to us in a time of need, left just before the snow got deep. Little 5-speed, little red 5-speed came to us for a time, you see, ate up the miles and memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5, ate up the miles and the memories. All that we'd need was in that little red 5-speed. Thank you. So that was a song about the little red car. This next song is about my blue bike. Yeah. So I, for a while, rode my bike to work. I guess I still ride my bike to work. I work remotely, and so I ride to a cafe. But I used to work in an office where I'd ride my bike to work every day. And so, you know, when you're a cyclist in a place that isn't built for cars, you find your way, right? You weave your way through those back neighborhoods, behind the Home Depot. So it was in the Home Depot parking lot, actually, that I was hit on my bike the day before Thanksgiving 2 years ago. The sun was at just the wrong angle. Driver's windshield was probably dirty. They turned left. It felt like it was in slow motion, and I think it was low speed, but it just like they just kept coming. And I'm like, I think they see me. They don't see me, and so the work van, grabbed the back of my bike and sort of pulled it out from underneath me, and I was sort of left standing there, which is kind of the best case scenario. The best case scenario would have been that the bike was okay, but the bike was definitely not okay. So you could say that this is kind of another eulogy for a mode of transportation, but it's also sort of a wonderment at, like, I think there are a lot of times in our lives where things could have happened, but because we were at just the right place, they didn't happen, or vice versa, right? And most times we don't know that. But this was a time that, like, you know what? Had I been just like half a second earlier, you know, on and on and on. So this is a song about all of that. So this is my blue bike after Little Red 5-speed. seconds make the difference in the distance between hit and miss. Well, I wasn't quite on either side, but I'm glad to say that I'm still alive. Oh, I know I've had close calls before, and once or twice I've been on the floor, but a car just flattened my blue bike, and I'm glad to say that I'm still alive. It's hard to look you in the eye, make jokes and just try not to cry. But there's this thought I fear inside my head. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. If you want to sing along on that bit, if you get it, yeah. Well, I walked away with barely a tear. No scars, no scrapes, no souvenirs. But an x-ray machine can't see my soul. No stitches can patch up that hole. So I turn on the light, walk down the stairs, see my old blue bike lying there, to try to get this notion through my head. But it's hard to admit that you could be dead. It's hard to look you in the eye, make jokes and just try not to cry. But there's a thought I fear inside my head. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. Well, it's hard to look you in the eye, make jokes and just try not to cry. But there's a thought that I will always dread. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. It's hard to admit that I could be dead. Thank you. That's a good friend. That's a good friend that will sing, "It's hard to admit that I could be dead with you." Like, that's a good friend. Thanks, Mirabelle. All right. So I think I'm going to do a space set now. So, space. Let's get in a space mindset. Put on your helmet. Zip up your suit, and let's go there. I'm going to play this one first. So, a lot of my writing, I try to be a compassionate writer. And sometimes that compassion is for inanimate objects. So this is one for Sputnik. What goes up doesn't always come down. Sometimes you burn up before you hit the ground, and other times you just keep floating around. What goes up doesn't always come down. They said I was a rising star, the pride and joy of the USSR. On the 4th of October I was ready to go, but they never spoke a word about me coming home. They just said what goes up doesn't always come down. Sometimes you burn up before you hit the ground, and other times you just keep floating around. What goes up doesn't always come down. Gave me a pat on my fuselage, wishing me Udacya and Das Vidanya. With the roar of the rockets it wasn't long, for I circled the earth sending my song. Hey look ma, I can see China. Hey look ma, I can see Spain. I can see all these people worrying about the future. Be sure that I'm 'cause what goes up doesn't always come down. Sometimes we burn up before we hit the ground, and other times we just keep floating around. What goes up doesn't always come down. What goes up doesn't always come down. Sometimes we burn up before we hit the ground, and other times we just keep floating around. What goes up doesn't always come down. So in the 1970s, NASA was launching the Voyager missions, and these spacecraft were designed to take pictures of Saturn's rings and moons as they exited our solar system. And so Carl Sagan, the astrophysicist, was on that team, and he and some other folks were like, listen, these are the human-made objects. This is the thing that's going to go the farthest of any human-made object ever. It's going to go and keep going and going and going for 100 million years, right? You get momentum in space, it just goes. So they're like, okay, how can we seize this opportunity of anything? This is the most likely thing to ever encounter extraterrestrial life. So we better be ready for it. So what they did is they formed a team that included, of course, the folks that make the rocket go, but also included artistic folks. And one of those folks was Andrew Ian, who was the creative director of the Voyager missions. And so one of the things they came up with that you may be familiar with is the golden record. So this golden record was to be on both of those spacecraft and to include kind of the quintessential sounds and stories of the human experience. So it had some Beethoven on it. It had the sound of a baby crying. It had Johnny B. Good on it, I think. I don't think the Beatles made the cut. I think that was maybe too expensive licensing or something like that. But it had these, it was just this amazing idea that let's show these folks what humans are like. And so they had all of these great things that they were compiling, and Andrew Ian and Carl Sagan were working on this together. And as they were working on it, they realized they were falling in love. And so they had a phone call about kind of the last few things that they needed to include on the spacecraft, and that was the phone call that they told each other that they loved each other. And immediately after that was when Andrew Ian was going to get her brainwaves captured to be put on this golden record. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but so this fresh love between these two human beings is somewhere out in space on that golden record. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Thank you, Radiolab. This is amazing. It's a great Radiolab episode if you ever listen. Love Jad Admirad. But yeah, this is called The Speed of Love. When I met you, we both had our feet on the ground, looking skyward, wondering who or what could be out there. When I met you, we were gathering scraps of beauty. I knew this world was beautiful. I didn't know there would be you and me. But the speed of love is 35,000 miles an hour, 4,000 million years. The speed of love is a golden record spinning around and around. 3 seconds in a turn. The speed of love. Speed of love. When you called me, you said you found the missing piece. We could put in our bottle floating out in that starry sea. When you called me, I asked if you were talking about us. I knew this was big as the galaxy. I didn't know it would be big as love, 'cause the speed of love is 35,000 miles an hour, 4,000 million years. The speed of love is a golden record spinning around and around, 3 seconds in a turn. The speed of love, the speed of love. I hope they find it, like Noah's Ark out in the stars. I hope they play that record and find out who we really are. And I hope they get it, what was on my mind and my heart. How the love between two tiny people can travel the breadth of the stars, 'cause the speed of love is 35,000 miles an hour, 4,000 million years. The speed of love is a golden record spinning around and around, 3 seconds in a turn. The speed of love is 35,000 miles an hour. The thought brings me to tears. The speed of love is a golden record spinning around and around and around and around. I love you in each turn. I love you in each turn. The speed of love, the speed of love. So now we're back on the ground, but this is still space themed. Shout out to, I think my mom and dad said that they were tuning in. So hi, Mom and Dad. And maybe some of my family on the West Coast. So I don't know for sure, but I'll check after. Maybe Wes could say, I don't know. So this next tune, Dad, this is the first time you're hearing it. It's good. It's all good. I'll play it for you in person to make up for it, but this is this is a song about my childhood, yeah. So when I was growing up, my dad worked for a water softening and water treatment company. And so he brought home a couple times these massive boxes. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a box that a water heater comes in. I actually just got a new water heater last week. It's a big box. I should have asked to keep the box. That would have been fun. But so my dad would bring these boxes home, and he's a very creative person and also very handy. And so this one time made a space shuttle out of a water heater box, which was just incredible. And so I still remember that. So this is a song about that, and of course a lot of other things too. The working title of this one is Little Astronaut. Dad still had his work clothes on when he said, "Can I show you something, son?" We went outside to the old hatchback, and we pulled out a cardboard box, brought it inside and went downstairs with a little duct tape, a little care. We turned that water heater box to a spaceship flying through the air, and I went launching into the great unknown. Countdown, lift off, 3, 2, 1. and all the things that box could hold. A little space and a lot of love. I grew up as kids must do, and it came time for me to move. You need something to hold what matters most, and I guess a cardboard box will do. And I went launching into the great unknown. Countdown, lift off, 3, 2, 1. And all the things that box could hold. A little space and a lot of love. The other night I went downstairs, found a little cardboard box down there. It became a helmet on my head, and I was flying through the air again. And I went launching into the great unknown. Countdown, lift off, 3, 2, 1. And all the things that box can hold. A little space and a lot of love. Thank you. Thus ends the space set. How many more do I have, Brad? What are you thinking?
No, like maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3? Great.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'll do. Yeah, let me, just in case. Yes, what's up?
Your dad and your aunt, Pamela, are watching.
Oh, awesome. Great. Thanks for the intel, Wes. Hi, Aunt Pam. Yeah. So since we have some West Coasters tuning in, and I'll share this with my grandmother later too. I think it'll be on YouTube, right? I'm assuming. Yeah. Wes is like, yeah. Okay. So I wrote a song. So I got a guitar from my grandfather. My grandfather, rest his soul, passed away a couple years back, and my dad's dad, and I had gotten this great little parlor guitar from him, and whenever we went to visit them on the West Coast, I would pick up the mandolin that they had hanging on the wall, or the guitar, and this was even before I even knew that I wanted to play guitar. So that's affirmation, I guess, that I'm doing the right thing right now. But I was surprised one year with that guitar for Christmas. Like a couple years back, and it needed a bit of work, so I took it to my friend Roland, who had lived in Austin, Texas for a while and worked on a lot of different guitars, and he was so kind to do the work for kind of next to nothing, and to restore it and bring it back to playability and just make it pretty again. And so I, for a number of years, was thinking, I gotta write a song on that guitar for that guitar. And it finally came out a couple months ago. And this is that song. This is called Save the Sixth String. I wonder how this guitar feels about playing a song that's not about that's about another guitar. I think it's supportive. We're doing a great job. Thanks, bud. It's like gonna break a string on me. Spite me. Okay. This is called Save the Sixth String. It could be any sixth string. Doesn't have to. Willie was on tour in Austin. Trigger had a mishap there. The bridge was coming up from the holy top, and Willie's tearing out his hair. Roland got a phone call at midnight. They said we need a doctor stat. And Roland put Trigger back together again, just as the sun was coming back. Save the sixth string, save your soul. In the wood, in the blood, in the bone. It's the same thing, don't you know? Don't you know? Jerry Jeff Walker had a temper. I never knew what he was fighting for. He smashed his beautiful Gibson guitar on an ugly barroom floor. Roland came to pick up the pieces to heal the hurt with his working hands. And later on, a couple decades on, I played Mr. Bojangles again. Save the sixth string, save your soul. In the wood, in the blood, in the bone. It's the same thing, don't you know? Don't you know? Under the bed in the spare room, my grandpa had a parlor guitar. By the time it came to me on a plane, I could see it had traveled far. Roland took it into his workshop. He polished up the mother of pearl. And the spirit of Willie's and Jerry's guitars came floating into my world. Save the sixth string, save your soul. In the wood, in the blood, in the bone. It's the same thing, don't you know, don't you know? Save the sixth string, save your soul. In the wood, in the blood, in the bone. It's the same thing, don't you know? Thank you. Brad, do you want to play something in E
I'll play
on a saxophone?
I'll play something.
Okay. Do you feel like you know Carrie well enough to do some things on that? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll do a little intro to the song. I'll just introduce myself again. My name's Andrew Pauls. I'm here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Come visit us. It's a great place. By the train, just to recap, you can take the train. This next tune, I wrote based on a conversation I had with a guy in a parking lot. I was at a family dinner, and there was a church parking lot across the way, and they were like, who's that guy out there in a car listening to music? And they were like sort of scared and suspicious. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go talk to him. It's probably fine. So I brought over some salsa and some chips because you need a peace offering. And so I talked to him. His name was Kerry. He was trying to find his way, and it came out in the conversation that he was a geography major and was doing sort of some map work. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're a person who works in maps and geography and you're trying to find your way. That's a song. So if he ever hears this, I hope he likes it. This is called Carrie, Get Out Your Maps. Sitting there talking on the hood of your car, an open bag of chips, eating salsa from a jar on a misty kind of night that obscures the stars. Or are they hiding? Tell me that you built this house on sinking sand. It wasn't too cold and you knew it wouldn't stand. You lied to yourself, you lied to her then, or you lying now. I said, Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me where you're headed to? Are you driving home to get some sleep, or are you headed down to Lima, Peru? Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? It's good to see the kids again, to smell their hair and to hold their hands. But their mom, she found another man. Does that bother you? But you know, you've been seeing someone too. You met her online. She's from Peru and she even came to visit you. She's gone home now. I said, Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me where you're headed to? Are you driving home to get some sleep, or are you headed down to Lima, Peru? Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? Brad, take it away. Try to get your bearings now. You're west from east and you're north from south, and all the fear that's in your mouth, still feeling lost. Just chart a course the way you do, with your latitude and your longitude, and maybe you'll end up in Peru, anywhere but here. I said, Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me where you're headed to? Driving home to get some sleep, or are you headed down to Lima, Peru? Carrie, get out your maps. Can you tell me what you're aiming for? Is it Jesus, Jack, or geography? Can you tell me what you're living for? Na 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 na. Thank you. I have another one you can sing. This is going to be a sing-along with everybody, so I know you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to hang up here too, Brad, that's great.
I mean, I'm here, so.
Yeah. We're kicking you out. So this is my last song. Thanks for hanging, everybody. And
We'll do a cast and aperitif.
Oh,
after this.
true. The aperitif.
I mean, here you are, and you're wearing that hat, so.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is true.
So this last one is sort of bringing to mind some warmer weather. I was on lunch break a couple years ago, sitting in a nice garden area, and I had this sort of banal yet profound thought, like usually both of those things are true at the same time, and that I saw all of the flowers in the garden were facing the same direction. I'm like, wait a minute, why is that? It's because of the sun. That makes sense. So then I was thinking about, like, what does it mean for me to grow towards the sun? And so I guess what I came up with is that I can often measure myself and my worth, even based on, like, I want to get over there, and I'm not there yet, and I feel bad about not getting there yet. But I can often forget to, like turn around and see all of the hard work that I've done to be here where I am. And I think, so this is a reminder to all of us to kind of remember and reflect on, where we've come from and how we've worked at that. So this is called Growing Towards the Sun. I'll teach you the chorus here. so you're ready when it comes around. I'll feed it to you in bits here. Growing, thank God we're growing. 1, 2, you. Growing, thank God we're growing. Next part goes like this. Growing towards the sun. 1, 2, you. Growing towards the sun. Last part's a little longer. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. And you. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. You'll sound great. From sowing seeds till when they bloom, flowering as they do. Reds and purples, blues and whites, growing towards the sun. Standing tall or climbing high, reaching towards the sky. From fertile earth through last year's leaves, growing towards the sun. Here's the chorus, everybody. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Well, the skies aren't perfect every day. In fact, most times they're clothed in shades of gray. But still these buds will open up, growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. They say the tallest wins it all. But that tale is just as tall, 'cause it's not how high you've learned to climb, it's just how far you've come. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Chorus one more time, everybody. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Oh, growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Let's tag that. Growing, thank God we're growing. Growing towards the sun. Give yourselves a hand. Thanks for singing along.
I want to thank one more time Peter Beckman doing sound and Wes doing the video. So people on the interwebs, like our friend Tucker, can listen. And don't forget to check out merch out there, especially Andrew's stuff. Don't forget to check out Melissa's hot sausage dip and the brownies, which are amazing. And don't forget to mark your calendars for Saturday, March 1st, to come out and hear Flavie Grant play. And I know Flavie Grant and Heather May. And right now we got our friend Caston Guffey who's going to play us one final song because Caston's here and we're going to put him to waste.
Put him to waste. I haven't worked
You can also
today.
use this Taylor, or you
Yeah.
can use the, if all the
I'll
guitars.
probably use this. I used this on
Yeah.
Monday, and I thought, well, it worked.
Here, use this one over here.
It works. I don't know what to play. Maybe I'll play a song that.
It's like
Yeah.
I really like the. I mean, I like our. I like the. What was the Room song like? Anyway, do you know what I'm talking about? The new one you played.
I'm wearing this hat. Brad said earlier, and it made me laugh because I am wearing this hat. He said, "You're wearing that hat," and I said, "Yeah."
I mean, it's working.
I love this hat. I've had this hat for like 10 years. I don't even know where it came from. Well, I didn't mean to be up here, you know. I came here just to hang out and listen, but it sounds like maybe somebody didn't make it to the thing. So. It's slippy, yeah. Yeah, it's snowed out there. So I guess I think I might play. I think Brad was in trying to request a song in some fashion. I played a song a couple weeks ago at the open mic that I think I'd never really played before out, and I think it's that one. So I'm gonna play it. I took all the pictures down. That song. Yeah. It's about. I just recorded a new album, and there's a lot of songs on it. Turns out, and this is one of them. I usually have my guitar a half step down, so I'm trying to do some quick math, but I think I'm okay. Yeah, that's pretty fun. And so this is a song that's on that record that I wrote about. I lived in Nashville for 9 years and then moved here 2 years ago. Me and my wife were both songwriters and music people, and we both lived down there for a long time. And then it kind of got shitty. And it was always shitty, but it got extra hard to live in and weird and not fun. And we moved here and we were like, holy shit, I love it here. And this is a song I was kind of writing as I was moving here. It's called I Took All the Pictures Down. Well, I could play it better though, you know. I took all the pictures down, dust like shadows hanging round. What used to be here can't be found, like every time before. Dreams begin like they do, you live in hope till it's through, grieving every piece you lose, till it's all out the door. Well, you move away, you start again, light another fire within. Lean on love when making sense makes you feel like you're a bore. Well, you make a bet, you make a wish, you gather up your confidence, live inside it like a fence, 'cause you never can be sure. Do this time and time again till we can't anymore, like breathing or like the constant waves crashing on shore. We pack the things we learn the most,
let 'em haunt us like a ghost. Just in case we keep 'em close if trouble comes around again. Well, it's funny what we choose to keep. Fear and love, well, they both run deep. You can end up sowing what you reap, and some cycles never end. We do this time and time again till we can't anymore. Like waves upon the shore, or laughing till we're sore. Like poverty and war. Like riding till the wheels fall off and screaming out for more. Like every time from here on out, and every time before. Well, the things we chase are all the same. Sometimes they go by different names. The impulse to fan the flames of that roaring fire within. So I took all the pictures down, dust like shadows hanging round. What used to be here can't be found, so it's time to start again.
Thank you very much. Hey, thanks, Brad. I'm playing at the Funhouse on January 8th. I'm opening for a songwriter friend of mine named Darren Bradbury, who's coming through town. So if you want to come to that show, you should come to that show.